Hey everybody, this is Frilioth and welcome to another Minecraft tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to build this really simple iron farm that doesn't use any mobs. It uses the mechanic of the 5 villagers gossiping with each other, so you haven't got to wrangle mobs to get this farm to work. Now before we start, before I show you how to build it, I need to point out that this will not work on Bedrock, okay? It won't work on PS4, it won't work on Wii, on any console, on Xbox or anything like that. It won't work, okay? So don't be asking me if it works in Bedrock, because it won't work in Bedrock. This will only work on Java. Now the farm itself will produce about 120 pieces of iron. It varies quite a lot, between 100 and 140 pieces of iron every hour. But it only works during the day. When the villagers are asleep, they can't gossip, so therefore they can't spread gossip and therefore can't call for another golem. So you can double the amount of iron that you get from this farm just by sleeping. And as you can see, it's absolutely tiny. It's only 7 blocks by 4. I mean, that's fantastic, isn't it? So let me show you what you need to build this bad boy. So everything you need to build this farm is in my inventory, so pause the video if you need to. And now we'll crack on and build this thing. So now you've found somewhere to build it, you need to start by putting down 5 beds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. And then you want to surround the beds with some solid blocks. You can use glass here if you want to, but I'm just going to use solid blocks on the bottom. And then next, you want to put down a layer of glass blocks. Now, these can be solid blocks if you want, but I like seeing what my villagers are doing, which is why I'm using glass blocks, but you can use solid blocks if you want. Now, get to one end, and at one end, you want to put down two chests, like that. And then you want to fill the rest in with glass. And then on top of the chest, pointing into the chest, you want to put down 2 hoppers. So you'll have to crouch and put in 2 hoppers like that. And then go around the other side. You want to put 2 hoppers leading into those 2 hoppers. And then at the side, you want 2 hoppers pointing into those 2 hoppers. And the same on the other side. Crouch. Make sure you're pointing at those hoppers. Make sure the nozzles are facing into those hoppers. Otherwise, this won't work. And then take out your solid blocks. And you want to put down a layer of solid blocks like that. And then just here, you want to put down a couple of jack-o'-lanterns. Just going to provide a little bit of light inside. You shouldn't have any zombies or anything spawning inside because of the beds. But it's going to be dark in there. You don't want your villagers sat there in the dark, do you? And then just fill the rest in with solid blocks. So now you should have something that looks like that. Now you want to jump up on top and take out your walls. These have to be stone or a stone variant wall. If you use wood, there's a very good chance that the lava will set fire to the fences. You'll have lava pouring out everywhere, water, stone, crime villagers. You don't need it. Use a wall, unless you're using wood that you find in the nether, which by all accounts is fire resistant. I'd probably use a wall. So I am. And you want to make the wall go all the way around the outside of the farm, like this. Now above the hoppers, you want to increase the size of the wall by another wall, by 1 more. And it has to go 3 blocks down. So 1, 2, 3, and then all the way along the back. And then out 1, 2, 3, like that. Now take out your signs. Signs won't burn in lava, so you can use signs for this. And you want to put a sign there and a sign there, and then a sign there, and one just there. That's where your lava's going to go. So take out your buckets of lava, and you want to put lava there and there, like that. Now you want to get outside your farm. You can't jump over a wall unless you've got jump 2, and if you're building with beacons, I'd suggest you put jump 2 on it. I love jump 2. So get outside your farm, like that, and you want to put a bucket of water on those 2 blocks there. Don't put it against the wall. If you put it against your wall, you waterlog the wall. Water flows out all down the side, so don't put it against the wall. You'll need to look at those 2 blocks there and put it there. So you want one there and one there. Now when the golem spawns on here, it's going to flow into the lava and all of his drops are going to fall down onto the hoppers, which is why we put hoppers around the outside like this, because the drops of an iron golem don't fall straight down. There's a chance that they could pop out to the side or pop over to the back, and if they miss those two hoppers there and land on solid blocks around the side, if you've put solid blocks around the side, then you'll lose the drops, which is why we put hoppers all the way around. So now you should have something that looks like that. Now it's time to start thinking about getting your villagers in there, and getting the villagers in there is relatively straightforward. You just need to wrangle a few, get them in boats, get them in minecarts. If you're building this in the middle of a village somewhere, just destroy all of the beds that are already in the village, and the villagers will just wander over here when it gets dark. But before you do that, you need to spawn proof the area. You need to stop golems from spawning outside of the farm. We want them to spawn in there. Okay, we don't want them to spawn out here. If they do, it's going to break your farm. So in order to spawn proof it, I'm just going to spam down a load of carpet. You can use carpet, you can use bottom slabs, use path blocks, leaves, glass, all kinds of stuff you can use. But you do need to spawn proof it. Don't just spam down a few torches, because golems will spawn in any light level. So this does need to be spawn proofed. I'm going to use carpet. And now you need to get the villagers in the area. As I say, I'm just going to spawn 5 in. Now you do need 5. Okay, you can't do this with 3 because we're not using the zombie method. We're using 5 villagers that call for the golem. Okay, so you do need 5 of them. So all you do is pop out these 3 blocks here and wait for it to get dark. And they'll wander around and they'll jump in and go to bed. Good little villagers. And then you can block it back in again. Now what's going to happen? They've now slept. A villager has to sleep every 20 minutes. All of them have to sleep every 20 minutes in order for them to call a golem. And they'll wake up in the morning and realise that they don't have a golem. So they'll start chatting while it's daylight. They can't chat while they're asleep. So this farm won't work at night. Okay, so don't expect this to work 24/7. It doesn't. If you want a farm that does that, check out my other video that uses a zombie and 3 villagers. If you don't want to be messing around with zombies, and to be honest, that is quite difficult to do, then just get yourself 5 villagers in a farm and wait for it to turn day. These guys will jump out of bed, start talking. After 60 seconds or so, they'll realise they don't have a golem. So one of them may call for a golem. And the golem will spawn on the top, it'll float down to the end, it'll die. 60 seconds later, these guys will notice that there's no golem up there, and they'll try to call for another one. Now this could happen every 60 seconds. It could take 2 minutes, it could take 3 minutes. Okay, I've never had it take longer than 3 minutes for them to spawn a golem. So this is nowhere near as efficient or as quick as the one that uses a mob. However, it is much easier to build because you haven't got to wrangle zombies. So it's daytime now, they've jumped out of bed, they're going to start chatting. And hopefully, within 60 seconds, we'll get ourselves a golem. So there you go, that took a little over 3 minutes actually, that was quite slow. So as I say, sometimes it's a minute, it'll never be quicker than a golem every minute. But I've never had it any slower than a golem every 3 minutes. So this is not going to be the quickest farm, but if you put it in your area, around your base, while you're working, while the chunk is loaded, this farm will produce iron. So this farm's going to produce about 120, on average, about 120 pieces of iron every hour. You can double that by sleeping. This farm won't work at night, will only work during the day. So if you sleep, and stop the villagers from sleeping, then you can probably double that to 200, 250 pieces of iron an hour, which, as I mentioned, is nowhere near as good as the iron farms that use a zombie, but this is so much easier to build. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, everybody. If you have, please don't forget to leave it a like, and if you've really loved it, don't forget to subscribe for future tutorials. This is Frilioth, and I'm out of here.